Hey, good morning, Pastor Steve here. Look at 1 Corinthians 3:12 through 15. I've been being pushed here by this because I have things that I need to really focus on. We're God's fellow workers, Paul said. You're God's field. You are God's building. According to the grace of God, which was given to me as a wise master builder, I have laid the foundation, another builds on it. But let each one take heed how he builds on it. For no other foundation can anyone lay than that which is laid, which is Jesus Christ. Now, if anyone builds on this foundation with gold or silver or precious stones, wood, hay, straw, each one's work will become clear, for the day will declare it. It will be revealed by fire, and the fire will test each one's work of what sort it is. If anyone's work which he has built on it endures, he'll receive a reward. If anyone's work is burned, he will suffer loss, but he will be saved, yet so as through fire. Quite often, especially in our culture in the last 20 years, this big news item will pop up. It grabs the headlines for a day or a week or longer. And every time it happens, I see my Facebook friends, either left or right, depending on which way the wind's blowing, declare that it's a smokescreen. I see the post. What are they trying to distract us from now? What are they trying to keep us from noticing now with this news item, with this ongoing story? Be alert. Be awake. They are after us. You're probably right. They probably really are after us. I don't know. If I were the devil, I wouldn't tempt people to stop doing good things. The scripture says that he's a wily old character and a deceiver trying to devour us. He already knows that our flesh will tempt us to do evil things. You know what I'd do? I'd get those whose commission it is to make disciples, to preach the message of the cross, focused on other things, true things, false things, whatever, but mostly true, and draw them away from obedience to one of the commands of Scripture, the last one that Jesus left us. Go into all the world and make disciples. I'd shift their focuses off to perhaps good things, right causes. I'd get the focus off the message of Calvary so as to get them to ignore the preaching of what we have been empowered to do. Jesus said, go into the world and preach the gospel under my authority. If I were the snake, I would do that. I personally am always fighting that battle inside. I see things I do not like in this world, and I realize that I could easily get tempted away from the basic message as well. What can I do? I need to focus more on doing things that have eternal value. In Matthew, Jesus tells us where our treasure is, there will our heart be also. So I asked Stephen, where's your treasure? Where's your treasure? What holds your attention? What captivates you? Throughout the whole Sermon on the Mount, Jesus encourages us to take an eternal view. 2 Timothy, Paul tells Timothy, hey, look, dude, no man who is on active duty gets entangled with the affairs of life so he may please the one who has chosen him to be a soldier. Like what David Guzik says about that passage, the things that might entangle a soldier might be good or bad for a civilian. The soldier can't ask if something is good or bad for those who are not soldiers. He must give up anything that gets in the way of being a good soldier or serving his commanding officer. A faithful soldier does not have the right to do anything that will entangle them and make them less effective as a soldier. I see quite often that good causes come along and they draw me away from the best cause. I could easily get entangled up in the affairs of the world that aren't the message of the cross. Paul was of that mindset when he told the church at Corinth, remember in the first part of his 1 Corinthians letter, I determined to know nothing among you except Jesus Christ and him crucified. And Jesus, as he finished his work here on earth, left many unhealed. He left many good things undone, many hungry people. But he said, Father, I have finished the work that you gave me to do. He was singular in his purpose, and he stayed true to it until called home. I want to do that. Please, please pray that the good things don't distract me from the best things, that I can make the main things, the plain things, that I can be focused on the cause why Jesus left us here. Jesus said, all authority is given to him. So under my franchise, go and teach the nations the message of the cross. My calling was to this. And so let's join in that purpose. Be filled with the gospel, that we spill over the good news onto a dying world. Don't get distracted. Pray that I won't. You ponder that, Pastor Steve.